Welcome to Chasing Limits on Shaw TV. We're here at Winsport's Canada Olympic Park for the Moguls single NORAM competition. My name is Paul Stutz, and joining me is Kevin Kwasny.
Hey, pleasure to be here on such a nice day at Canada Olympic Park.
We have amazing weather in Calgary these days, and I know that's probably doing some funny things to the snow, but the course looks to be in amazing shape.
You know, that sun is great for these athletes' confidence. It's going to make it nice and soft, although there is some shady parts to the course, so that's going to keep these skiers on their toes. It's going to go from soft to hard real quick.
So this NORAM circuit, basically a feeder league to the World Cup. So these athletes, some of them young, down to 15 years of age, but they're all the ones that are striving for that next level of working their way onto the national teams and eventually the World Cup and Olympics.
Yeah, it's great to see so many different ages and countries out here. It's really great to feed these programs and get these World Cup skiers some exposure on these NORAM courses.
So we can see we have the top 16 women from the qualification round. In this format, we have 16 qualifiers. They're going to go to a final now. The top 6 from there will go to the super final. We can see our leader, Tess Johnson from the U.S. ski team, followed closely by 2 other country mates there, Sophia Schwartz and Avital Shimko.
Yeah, it's great to see that these skiers are coming here and they're skiing so well out of the States right now, but we also have a great contingency out of Canada.
Yeah, and even though the Americans are on top right now, we got a number of local athletes and Canadians that are pushing them from not far behind. So we're going to see an excellent competition here, and we'll see what the Canadians and the locals can do and push some of that international field around.
Yeah, we're going to see Norway, Australia, and USA and Canada all compete in this women's top 16.
We have bib number 1. Let's go to the start. We have Alex Jensen from the USA in the start, ready to roll. You know, obviously a lot of mental preparation as well as physical to get ready for a run that has so many different factors.
Yeah, she's a 20-year-old out of Park City and getting ready up at the top. You really need to be focused and loose. Get ready for these bumps.
So in this format, we're obviously mainly looking. 60% of the judging is on your turns. The judges are watching your turns for form, but we have 2 big jumps that are going to be a factor, as well as timing.
Yeah, you got to make it down this course clean and fast to be at the top of that podium.
So correct me. 60% of the judging is on your turns. 20% is on your speed, and then 20% is judged on your 2 jumps in the middle.
Yeah, FIS is really pushing for us to really watch the turns of these athletes.
So turns, I know we want the most symmetrical straight line down the hill.
Yeah,
we have, yeah, you said.
You want to look at the absorption and the edge control of these skiers. It's amazing how they can ski down a course this steep and be over top of their boots and over top of their skis the entire time.
I'm glad you mentioned how steep this course is. This is one of the steepest tracks in the world. This is one of the more difficult World Cups, even, let alone a NORAM, a Continental Cup here.
Yeah, you can see a lot of the World Cup skiers here. A couple weeks ago, they were toning down their skiing because they were worried about some of the steepness of this.
And we factor that in. Again, you say we want to factor in 20% from speed, which is obviously a very important part of the score. But you don't want to make any sacrifices with your turns or your airs, obviously, because, I mean, between those 2, you have another 80%, right?
Yeah, turns are going to be where everybody's looking, but you set yourself apart with your speed and your air.
It's an amazing event. Obviously, my background is from the Alpine side, where the timing is the only thing that matters, where your final time is everything, and it doesn't matter how you look. So you're throwing a couple more things into the mix. I mean, your background's all in freestyle here. So, I mean, what else does it take to not just be fast, but be judged well?
Style is everything. You have to have the complete package. You have to look great in the air. You have to look great through every turn, and you have to make it down fast.
It's amazing. I think Alex Jensen of the USA is getting ready. Our first athlete out of the start. She's obviously preparing herself physically, and I did say mentally. You want to be. Does she have her tricks planned out? Does she know exactly what 2 jumps she's going to be doing?
Oh yeah, you've done all your training all week long on this course. You did your qualifier run. Your qualifier run might have been holding it back just a little bit to ensure that you make it through to the top 16. And now it's time you start doing and pushing.
So it seems that we have a bit of a delay here. I mean, I know that the judges would be obviously calculating scores, making sure everything is prepared, because factoring in time and judging, we want to make sure it's a level, even playing field for all these athletes, right?
Yeah, every athlete deserves to be watched the same way, and that's what these judges are here for. They are making sure that every athlete is seen 100% the same way.
That's it's so important, and I think that's why the judges' booth is set up symmetrically right at the bottom of the hill, and you can watch. They actually have 3 different lane choices. I know there's the skiers left, center, and skiers right. Why would why would an athlete choose one of those different ways over the other?
Well, it comes down to athlete preference. With skiing, everybody turns a little differently. Everybody makes their way down the course a little differently. So these courses get chewed up in different ways. So an athlete finds which lane they're comfortable with, and that's going to be their competition lane.
It's interesting to see, because you know what, Alex here sitting here in the start, she was obviously very ready to go, but you know what, this is the nature of an outdoor sport with so many different factors. We'll have to kind of be on the fly, where she's maybe prepared, maybe needs to take a few minutes, catch her breath, and refocus actually before she's dropping in there.
Yeah, that's something that all these athletes have to do, whether they're on deck waiting for their turn next or if they're in the gate. They need to maintain that focus with all the distractions. This is a public ski hill. There's lots of skiers coming by, lots of people down in the crowd cheering, but the focus is in their head and on their run.
I think that's so neat. Obviously, it's very neat. We can see right here the judges obviously getting ready. They have that kind of perfect view of the slope. And because of the way that this track has been built into the actual old bowl of the 1988 ski jumps, the judges actually have an elevated view and get a better picture of the entire track from almost a bird's eye view.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than a judge's view. They need to be able to see everything, so it's great for them to have this perch.
I think that's very neat to see. Obviously, you can only imagine what's going through their minds as they have to keep things very subjective and by the book. But so many different factors in skiing, whether it just be one turn to the next or all of the different tricks involved. It can't be an easy job being a judge.
Yeah, as much as the athletes focus, these judges have to be focused as well. They can't take their eye off a second of it. These courses, these skiers are coming down 220 meters in 25 seconds.
That's an unbelievable quick time. Visualizing, I mean, as we just talked there, as much as she needs to keep her body warm and body prepared, we have a nice sunny day with mild temperatures, which is going to be good for the physical side. The mental side, where she's dealing with the delay here, but keeping that visualization. She knows every bump on this track and knows every jump because she's had the training over the last few days, the warm-up runs today, the qualification. She knows exactly what she's going to be doing.
Oh, yeah. These guys are top-level athletes. They have been here. They have been training yesterday, today. These qualifier runs, they're all used to get ready for these finals.
And we see, I mean, some of that seems like a tremendous amount of experience as they are all professional athletes. But we have some of these athletes 15 years of age all the way up to their mid-20s. But here's another important thing we can take a look at. Visibility, as you mentioned, into the shade can be tricky. We see here a little bit of texture in the snow. That's not dirty snow. That's put there on purpose. Those are actual small little pieces of pine bough put in there to give the athletes a bit of definition in the snow.
Yeah, when the volunteers are making sure this course is great for every athlete, they're making sure you can see everything. When you go upside down, sometimes that sky can be just as white as the ground, and these athletes need that definition to find themselves and be able to make it to their feet safely.
It seems like such a simple thing, putting little bits of Christmas tree down on the course to give the athletes some definition, but it's amazing how much of a difference that makes. And we're also seeing different tracks, different sports using different dyes and focusing on actual visualization and safety too. So.
Yeah, even the mogul jumps have dyes on them as well to allow you to hit the center of that jump. You want to make sure that you're coming off square, so you land square and head into those moguls.
We can see a little bit of wind picking up. I'm not sure if that's having any difficulty with getting things underway today. But again, as we've said, it's an outdoor sport. It's part of the game. You know what? We saw the Canadian flag flying proudly there, although we can see the international field here with the Australian flag blowing in the wind there.
Yeah, all the flags are blowing and all the cheering from all the fans from all over.
We have seen a tremendous crowd here, obviously an international field, so everyone's come out to support not just the locals but the internationals, athletes as well. We have a number of people, and why not? What better to be out than watching some top-level competition on a beautiful Saturday?
You know, it doesn't get much better if you're a fan of skiing. I want to say these ski patrollers, though, that's who we really need to thank. They're out here keeping everybody safe on such a steep course.
Safety is obviously first and foremost, and one of the most important things we're going to factor in. But an enormous amount of crashing in qualifications. Is that just because of the difficulty of this track?
100%. Yeah, we saw it in qualifiers that coming over this pitch, it is a steep and fast course. And then you add a jump into that. You're coming quick, and then you're going big.
Unbelievable. Well, it looks like we are underway here. We got Alex Jensen clicking into her bindings and getting ready. We'll be underway for the finals of the women's single mogul NORAM competition, and she is off.
All right, nice skiing through this top section, coming into the top air. Does one of the more difficult tricks, a back full.
Back full, obviously one full backflip, but as well a 360-degree rotation in the middle, and excellent turns as she carries through that difficult middle section.
Yeah, slight deviation coming through that pitch change. That's the hardest part of the course right there, but she's handling it very well.
Off the second jump, nice laid out backflip.
Finishes strong. Make sure she kept turning all the way through. That's something the judges will really be looking for on this course, is making sure those turns finish all the way.
She's got a smile on her face, so she's definitely going to be happy with that run. But as we know, it's a judge sport, so we'll have to wait and see what the judges' score is.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they have to say about that run.
With judging, I mean, obviously they have to release unofficial scores at the start, which is likely what we'll be able to see until they actually release the actual official scores. But you know what? Tremendous first jump here that I think the judges will be very happy with that back full.
Yeah, that back full is something that in the women's mogul skiing is a World Cup level trick right now. She is pushing it. It's great to see.
That's excellent. You can see smile on her face, proudly showing off her sponsors there. But you know what? It's got to be just as hard for the athletes to watch and wait for the actual judges' score.
Oh yeah, just like her waiting at the top. It's a game of waiting, and she's got to keep her nerves steady.
And I think that's one of the trickier parts. And you know what? May see some of that factor in with the experienced athletes being able to calm those nerves a little easier.
Yeah, now we got a nice view of Heidi Klosser at the top.
So Heidi Klosser out of the USA, she was actually Rookie of the Year in 2014, but she's 23, so she's one of the older girls on this circuit. But you know what? We'll use that experience and take that into the finals here as she gets ready to enter her final round.
Yeah, some World Cup skiers, the rookies are able to come back to the NORAM to gain some confidence, work on these courses, and just keep their skiing going.
Well, I know from the Alpine side, even though I raced on the World Cup for a lot of years, but always used the NORAM events as kind of that warm-up race or that confidence booster, whatever it may be. And for a lot of these ladies, could also be qualifications. Their coaches are looking at these results and these events and how they're performing under pressure at the Continental Cup level to see if they're ready for that move up onto the World Cup.
Yeah, with so many people fighting for so few spots on a national team, there has to be some real direct competition from USA to USA and Canada to Canada.
I think obviously feeding off of the kind of North American rivalry here, they'll be able to continue to push each other. Heidi Klosser on course.
Coming into that first top air, nice back lay. Ooh, a little back on her landing.
As we talked about, this is a difficult track, not just for the ladies, but I actually saw more of the men having difficulties with this track than the ladies. Maybe they had that extra little bit of balance or practice.
Yeah, she recovered well. She's finishing off her run strong, does a back full at the bottom. Not quite as straight as I'm sure she'd like it to be, but good solid run. It's unfortunate about the fall up top.
Obviously that fall, will the judges even factor anything in after that? Or, I mean, that pretty much takes her out, obviously, of the time, but as well of the 60% turns judge score in the middle. So
Yeah, the turns and the landing are a big part of it. So when she comes out of her air, she needs to make a direct ski-related move to be judged into the turns.
So it looks like we're going to get the unofficial scores probably after the women's first round, and we'll be able to see. But I know all these ladies are going to be on the edge of their seat seeing how they qualified as well. But you can see just that moment of waiting to see how you did. You know, I mean, deep down, I think Heidi knows that she didn't perform how she wanted to with that fall in the middle. But nonetheless, waiting for that score.
Yeah, and going from a round of 16 to a round of 6, you need to be nearly perfect to continue on, and she'll be feeling that.
You can see we have Valerie Gilbert, or Gilbert, I guess, from Saint-Sever, from Quebec, a 17-year-old, another Canadian favorite, obviously, with a tremendous qualifying round.
Yeah, national team member here, skiing for her spots, trying to work her way into the World Cup. Dropping in very cleanly. Decided to take a little simpler route, takes the 360, but stays in control.
That could be a smart move, you know. Take the easier trick off the first jump, but know that you'll be able to land and be confident and fast as well through the middle section.
Yeah, you know what? You want to make it from top to bottom on this course. With a big back cross on the bottom, she kind of makes up for the little bit easier trick up top.
And she's happy with that run. Valerie Gilbert across the line. I think with good speed from what I could see there too. Obviously a clean, consistent run, but maybe the difficulty just wasn't there for this 17-year-old.
Yeah, you know what? She'll continue to push herself and work on her aerials. The 360 is seen all the way up into the World Cup. It is a consistent trick for a lot of these ladies, and it allows them to come out of that top air with that control.
And by no means is a 360 an easy trick for anyone. I mean, on a run this steep, in the middle of a mogul run, she's facing back up at the start where she came from, let alone we've seen some of them upside down, obviously. But I don't think any of these tricks could be considered as easy, just some less of a degree of difficulty.
Yeah, coming down this course, as fast as these guys are coming, throwing any trick in there is going to make it more difficult.
We got Maggie Ryan of the USA. She's out of Steamboat, Colorado. Again, a 17-year-old. May not have the experience on this track, but definitely having no problems off the start with a 360 off the first jump.
Yeah, again, like before, she chose to do the 360, and that's really pushed her into some great turns coming through this long middle section.
And actually took a different line, took the skier's left line, before she threw that nice laid-out backflip off the bottom jump across the line.
And skied all the way across the line. That was a good, solid run.
Maggie Ryan, smile on her face. That's great to see. Obviously, a clean run. I think making it down would be something to smile about on a course this difficult.
Oh, yeah. I think everybody that makes it to the bottom will have a big smile on their face.
So she took, we mentioned this before, but she took the skier's left line. Why would she have practiced that in the training runs? Would she have chosen that as kind of her favorite lane? Would she mix that up throughout the competition?
No, they normally don't mix it up. Your goal would be to find a lane that you're very comfortable with, that you can know where every turn's going to be, where every sort of slight deviation in a mogul might be. So you know that run from top to bottom as best as you can.
So she's going to play to her strengths, obviously, with the inspections and the training runs. She's going to know exactly what worked for her, but as well what is going to give her the best opportunity for success here.
Yeah, it's great to see them choosing different lines and pushing each other through these courses.
Another athlete out of the USA, Winter Park, Colorado, we have Haley Ray.
Again, elects to do the 360. Skied out of it quite well, coming through this middle section with great knees, great absorption.
Absorption and extension, obviously, what the judges are looking for, and very symmetrical skiing. I know we talked briefly about judges wanting to say, you know what, picture a teacup on their head. You want to see the least amount of movement out of the upper body and the head, right?
Yeah, it's awesome to see that kind of head movement. You want it very still the entire way down. And then she did her backflip. That was a good, solid run.
Solid run. I think she'll be definitely happy with that. Let's just hope the judges are going to be happy with that as well. Back, nice, solid, very perpendicular, proper. I know we're seeing a lot of off-axis tricks in this sport now, but judges still want to watch for that perfect perpendicular vertical form.
Yeah, moguls is still a very traditional sport. They want to see those nice tall lines on a skier.
Haley Ray going to be happy with her run there.
Coming up is another Canadian off the Ontario team. She's 16 years old, competing for the provincial team, trying to work her way to a national team.
So one of the youngest skiers here, Sophie-Anne Gagnon, on course.
She came out aggressively. Elects to do the 360 as well. A little speed check there.
That speed check there, I'm glad you noticed that. Is that, I know the judges are going to deduct points for that, but would she be maybe using that as a strategy to slow herself down a bit to have a better turn shape through the middle section?
Oh, a little bit of a blowout there. But yes, that's exactly what they do. They cut some speed to try and gain that control because turns are so important. They don't want to be out of control coming out of that air.
Exactly. I think, I mean, Sophie-Anne Gagnon here, young athlete, she has nothing to worry about for her longevity of her career, and she'll just use this as an experience. But I think with some of those mistakes, she might not get the score she's looking for.
Yeah, it's awesome to see a 16-year-old in this top 16, but with those deviations, we're going to probably not see her in the top 6.
That's too bad, but, you know, as we said, it's all about experience for these young athletes on the NORAM circuit. They're not just working on their fist points, which are obviously so important. They are they're working just to get experience racing with the older ladies and on different tracks.
Confidence is so important coming into a mogul course like this. You need to know that you can get from the top to the bottom as fast and as strong as you can. And that's what coming to these contests does for these 16-year-olds.
We saw the Australian flag flying there. We have Sophie Ash out of Australia. I know she wants to say hi to everyone back home in Australia, probably watching live right now, getting ready for her final run.
Yeah, this 19-year-old out of Australia that they call Splash. I'm excited to see where she gets that nickname from.
So in the international field, obviously seeing the Australians have always been strong in freestyle events, and let's see if
they've always rivaled the Canadians. Great 360, really nice line right into the bumps again.
Excellent to see. Obviously, with Canadians and Australians, a lot of the Commonwealth countries, there's definitely going to be rivalry there, but for sure, all of these athletes are all friends and working together.
Oh, when you travel together with this many people, you get to know them and you get to enjoy them. What a great finish to her run. Nice back tuck in there.
So a back tuck, obviously tucking her knees into her chest as she lays out that backflip there. Judges are going to be happy with that second air for sure, but again, it's a full package.
Yeah, that was a good solid run for Splash.
Nice solid 360 off the top, which we've seen most of the ladies here in the finals do. Would they have their runs planned out, or would they be reacting to what some of the other athletes are doing?
They'd have their plan before they would step into this competition. They work very closely with their coaches to know which level and where to go from on this run.
That's good. There's a lot of game planning that goes into this competition. So focus and control is going to be one of the keys to this game, obviously. Elizabeth O'Connell in the start.
Yeah, this Park City team member, she's 19. She's it would be equivalent to a provincial team here in Canada. She's, again, probably looking for her national team spot by competing here.
So working her way up, obviously in the States, they don't have the provincial sport organizations. They have more regional teams, some of the stronger teams in the centers. We've seen a lot of athletes from Steamboat. Oh, and she's down.
Ooh, yeah, those moguls are pretty hard on the body when you come in sideways like that.
Safety's obviously very important here, and everyone is trained, but glad to see her bounce back up and well enough to complete her run.
Yeah, finishing strong is very important. You know, you want to keep that confidence. She's now using this as a training run for her next competition.
And why not? If you have an opportunity on a prepared slope just like this, use that opportunity to get another bunch of turns and another jump in the competition. That's great to see her taking every advantage.
Yeah, next up we have a 16-year-old.
Wow, they just they start young, obviously, once they enter this level of racing.
Taking another look at Elizabeth's 360 here. Yeah, just didn't quite get her her upper body ready for that transition.
So many pieces of the puzzle to put it all together, and just missed that little bottom section. We got another American, Hannah Soar, out of Killington, Vermont. 16 years old, as you mentioned.
Yeah,
so,
dancing to the music up top. She's having fun.
I think that's part of the game. You know what? We have to have fun. It's as much as this is a tough competition for her. She wants to be using this pushing out of the Stargate with a smile on, so she can be enjoying what she's doing.
Solid 360. Not quite right into the moguls, but strong skiing. They're big moguls right now for these guys right here.
And especially a younger girl. This is one of the smaller girls on the circuit, but size doesn't seem to be holding her back. We can see her, no problems with a nice laid-out backflip off the bottom jump.
Very big bottomed air. It's great.
Hannah Soar. I like that name. She was definitely soaring off that last jump.
It's a big smile at the end. Very happy to be here.
Pole planting. Excellent pole plant. We want to see nice quiet arms, but a solid pole plant on each of the apex of those moguls.
Yeah, they're really reaching for the backside of the bump. That's going to drive her down the hill and keep her over top. Being forward in her boots is the most important part in this steep, steep course.
Which is probably one of the hardest things to do, because your natural tendencies when you are on a steeper slope would be to get in the back seat and stay on your heels. But to be competitive here, we want to be on the front of our boots.
Yeah, every time you lean back, you lose a little bit of control over your edges. So being front, forward, and pushing on those shins is allowing these guys to have contact on their skis and on the snow.
Back to the start, we have Taylor O'Neill, another Australian, and you will notice she has a yellow bib on, which means she's actually leading the NorAm Cup series, as it is a whole series. Taylor was 16th in the Sochi Olympics, and hopefully taking that Olympic experience into a solid NorAm season. But I think some mistakes off that first jump. I don't know if she's going to be happy with that.
Yeah, she held back with that 360, but didn't quite get that line right back into the bumps again. This is such a difficult course.
But noticeably faster than some of the other ladies we've seen. A lot of speed coming down here. Tuck cross backflip off the bottom jump.
Really dominated that middle section, and that's something the judges will really look at. It is a long, tiring middle section, and if you can ski like that all the way through, that shows some great, great work.
So even though some of the mistakes in the top, which she might not be happy with, a solid bottom section to her run, which might just be enough to keep her in the mix to qualify for that top 6 super final.
Yeah, we've seen a few falls, so you never really know in this kind of competition.
Just see her popping out there with a nice 360, but this is where she just got thrown off course a little bit, and I think she's obviously eagerly anticipating her score to see if it's going to be enough to keep her in the top 6. Back to the start, as we said, international. Here we have a Norwegian from Hemsedal, Aurora Munson.
Yeah, she's 19 and traveled all the way here. That's the biggest part of these international sports is you're young and you're traveling.
So obviously, I mean, there are competitive circuits in Europe, obviously the European Cups that are just as much a feeder league into the World Cup, but as well, we see it on the Alpine side. In the other events, it's always an opportunity for them to race on and compete on different tracks and get more experience and World Cup points.
Yeah, and to come all the way here to Canada is a whole different level of competition for skiing this World Cup course in front of a different crowd. It changes your perspective on a competition.
And that's true. This being a World Cup course, it proved to be just difficult enough for Aurora here. A mistake in the middle ended up putting her hip down a little bit, but glad to see her bouncing back up and completing a run.
Yeah, those bright yellow pants keep your attention all the way down the hill.
I'm glad you mentioned pants. I've been waiting to ask you about this. So they all have knee pads. Is that on purpose? Is that style? Is that for the judges?
Well, it's a big thing for the judges. They want to be able to see that movement. And when you're at this level of skiing, you want the judges to see how well your knees are moving up and down, not side to side. So these knee patches hold their attention all the way through the course.
I think that's excellent. Obviously, a very typical thing you see out of the mogul skiers, but it's not just fashion. It's for the judges. We're back to the start here. Number 6, Lane Stoltzner, the U.S. ski team, skiing out of Steamboat.
Nice 360 again. Really nice skiing through this middle section.
Great turns, quiet upper body. That head doesn't look like it's moving at all. And she's keeping her control as she gets onto the steeper part of this course.
Very nice back lay. Very tall, very straight. That's what the judges are looking for.
Lane Stolzner across the line. I think she'll be happy with her speed. She had a lot of momentum coming down, especially through that bottom part of the course. And but you know what? Great technique and 2 great airs as well.
Yeah, a very solid run for her.
So right in the middle of that middle section, we saw her get a little bit on her heels, but that's because the pitch, as much of this course is a uniform slope, it does break over onto a steeper section in the middle there.
Yeah, you can see it all the way through during the World Cup as that pitch change really starts to grab these athletes. Some call it snow snakes, but it's when you start to feel a little bit backseat because the hill is that much steeper very, very quickly.
Back to the start here, Canadian ski team member Julie Bergeron racing out of Quebec.
Another 19-year-old.
So Quebec's been obviously all over the World Cup circuit. I mean, a tremendous amount of athletes on our national team are from that region. I think we have obviously 2 of the Olympic champions, the Dufour-Lapointe sisters. There's 3 of them, and they swept the podium at the last World Cup.
Yeah, it was amazing to see 3 sisters. Oh, there's that front flip. That is awesome to see. So she had 2 very difficult inverts in this run. That was a very solid run for a national development team member.
Huge air off the bottom. That is awesome to see. That's definitely a crowd pleaser, and I think she's definitely happy with her run. But she's obviously no stranger to this level of competition, and is looking. No reason she's not looking for the top spot here today.
Yeah, and back to Quebec being such a dominant force in our Mogul community, we have everything from Mikhail Kingsbury, who is the World Cup champion, and the sisters that are just dominating the circuit right now.
Not to mention our 2-time Olympic champion, Mr. Bilodeau. We've seen, obviously, amazing results from the whole team.
Yeah, and it goes back a long way. Jean-Luc Brassard was a dominant force as well.
Definitely a legacy of Mogul skiers here in Canada, and seeing no signs of stopping too. And with young athletes like this working their way up, I think we have an enormous future of them continuing to carry on that legacy.
So you can see she kind of did a slight snowplow coming into that top air. She really wanted to control that speed coming into this middle section. Great turns coming through. Really driving, pushing those hands. Avatel Shimko just skiing so well right now. Great backflip. Little low on the landing. Pushes hard all the way to the end.
But still happy with her run. Obviously cheering as she crossed the line there. And a smile on her face, which is a great thing to see.
You can see that a lot of these team members all are wearing the same suits. It's like a hockey team. You get your jersey, you get your national team suit, and you wear those things with pride.
As much as it is an individual sport, all of these athletes are being judged individually. They are part of a team, and it's impossible to do this without the support and training and feedback from a whole team.
Oh, the amount of people that travel as a team, you have coaches, you have ski techs, you have all your other athletes and trainers.
We have 2 more women pushing out of the start here. We have Sophia Schwartz, also out of the USA, on the U.S. ski team out of Steamboat,
pushing
Colorado.
For that back full off the top air.
That's great to see. So reverse format here. These would have been the top 2 women qualifying in the this morning's qualification round. So these would be the 2 to watch.
Yeah, our next skier will be the leader, but Sophia is really pushing to try and take that from her. Nice double inverts in this run. Back full up top, backflip on the bottom.
So definitely Sophia stepping up the level of difficulty with her airs, but excellent turns in the middle and a fast time. So
yeah, you can see her just pushing through these moguls, reaching for the backside, driving her edges through. Well prepared. A little early on her back full.
Great form though, and no problems landing it cleanly and getting back into the bumps. She's
waiting at the bottom for that score. that's when the nerves come in.
Going to be looking up at the start here at her teammate Tess Johnson, our leader as of the qualification round. So she's qualified with the highest score in the first round. But is it enough to take over from her teammates and do it in the finals when it counts?
Very tall, very nice 360. She's actually our youngest in this field. She is 15 years old, and she scored a 75.23 on her first run.
Unbelievable to see a 15-year-old in one of her first years racing on this circuit. But you know what? No stranger, not afraid of some of the older women.
What a great run for the 15-year-old.
She's definitely going to be happy with that. We'll be eagerly anticipating, as I'm sure she is,
big
on
smile.
The official scores from the judges. But tremendous to see that talent and that athleticism coming out of such a young athlete here. Great laid out 360.
Right into the bumps. That's what the judges are looking for. No hesitation.
What's going through her mind right now is she knows she's in the mix. She knows she had a clean run, a confident run, and had no mistakes. But again, she's going to be eagerly anticipating to see if the judges agree with how happy her run was.
Oh yeah, she'll be sitting here with the butterflies. Where am I going to be placed? Did I make the top 6? What's next? So these competitors are really ready for the top 6. They do their top 16 run, and then it's focused right back up to the top.
It's an amazing, obviously, event to see. I mean, 16 of the top female mogul skiers in North America, but as well around the world. We are really fortunate to have this level of competition right here in our backyard, right here, basically in downtown Calgary.
Just a short drive for so many people, and it's great to see that we actually have a crowd here checking out these amazing skiers.
I think that's so neat to see. Obviously, Canada Olympic Park, Winsport has a tremendous venue here that has showcased not only alpine events, freestyle events with one of the best half pipes in the world, but again, one of the most difficult and competitive mogul tracks on the circuit.
Yeah, again, like we said earlier, you see it with these World Cup skiers that tone down their runs.
And there we have it. We have scores from the judges. We can see Haley Ray with a strong 72.63. You can see the judges definitely deducting scores from some of the athletes that had those difficulties in their runs. But Haley Ray with a 72.63. Maggie Ryan, obviously close behind her. We'd obviously very difficult to see what the judges are actually pulling apart, but we've seen amazing scores.
Yeah,
and some of those top girls, we can see the results there. Obviously, the top 6 going into the final round.
Yeah, we saw Sophia Schwartz with a great 78-point run. That's very strong.
Let's have a quick word with some of the inside tracks and be able to have a chat. Phoenix caught up with one of the insiders at the event here today. We're going to take a quick look at the hill here. You can see how steep the track is, obviously, with a kind of vertical shot from, and that's the view that the judges are seeing. So to be able to pull all of the difficulty and the views inside from the judges' angle, this is what they're going to be seeing.
Yeah, again, the judges have the VIP view. They get to see top to bottom. They have binoculars in there to see those errors. They are very specific on what they are seeing.
And here's Phoenix.
Hey, Henachuk, he's one of the judges here at today's competition. You've been judging for about 5 years now. Why is it exciting to judge for you?
Well, I've always enjoyed the sport. My kids were involved for quite a while, so I've been around mogul skiing for about 20 years now.
Yeah.
And it was just a natural thing when my kids quit competing to still be involved. A lot of good friends that we get to hang out with.
Yeah,
it's great.
Well, let's be real here too. Your kids made it to the national level, Jay. Come on, that's great.
Well,
congratulations.
They put a lot of time into it, and we did as well. Of course.
A lot of great athletes on this course today. When you look at them as you judge them, give us a feel for what we should be looking for.
Well, there's a couple different aspects. Of course, we have air judges and turn judges. Today I'm on turns, and on the turns we're looking for a good carved turn, direct line,
tight
absorption, yeah, not too much upper body movement. And the air judges are looking for difficulty and amplitude and good clean landings.
Percentages?
60% for turns, 20% for air, and then 20% for speed, which is just done by the clock.
You wonder how the scoring goes? Well, now you get a better, clear picture. Jay, thank you.
Hey, no problem.
Back to you guys.
Excellent to get the inside views from one of our judges, see firsthand exactly what they're looking for. We're going to obviously move on to the men's competition. The ladies have shown a tremendous effort, and you can see the top 6 of the ladies will be moving on to the super finals. But talking about the men, I mean, obviously some of them been stepping up the degree of difficulty here, but we're ready to start the men off here with our first athlete, Trevor Norris.
Yeah, another American. He came into the super finals with a score of 71.36. He's 20 years old, coming out of Park City.
So again, he's going to have to use all of that physical preparation, that he's got his body warmed up and is ready to go, but it's the game plan, it's the visualization and the mental aspect that's coming into play now as he's getting ready to start off the men in the first run of our final here at Winsport's Canada Olympic Park.
Yeah, he hopes to set the tone pretty strong right now. Starting with the back full, really driving into those first sets of bumps after that air.
Setting the tone, he is definitely a huge first air, but a tremendous amount of speed here, and seems to be holding it well with some clean turns in the middle section.
Yeah, he's just approached that pitch change that we talked about, and he navigated really well. And a loop truck driver. Really, really cool trick to see.
I love that trick. It's obviously very stylish. Wanting to see that that truck driver grab where he's using both hands to grab the front of his skis.
Yeah, bringing a little bit of that new school into a traditional sport.
So traditionally, no inverts in mogul skiing, and then obviously they brought them in, but no off-axis tricks, and now we're seeing all sorts of style getting thrown into the game.
Yeah, it's been a great evolution in a short time in our sport. We went from twisters and spreads and uprights all the way to cork 1080s now, off-axis with 3 spins on the World Cup circuit.
Back to the start, one of our local heroes here, Braden Pollock, skiing out of Winsport, so he will definitely know this hill. He will have definitely had a lot of training here, and he's going to use that hometown advantage here to start us off in the finals. Braden Pollock on course.
Yeah, you can see that he doesn't drive into the courses as aggressively as others. He's taking his time. He's a very confident and smooth skier. He's really pushing himself right now, though, coming through quick in this middle section.
No stranger to the speed, though, obviously definitely upping that tempo into the second jump.
Very nice off-axis 720 with a big cross. Great solid finish.
Huge. He's definitely happy. You can see all these athletes coming through the finish, and their body language says a lot, and he's definitely going to be happy with that run. Let's hope the judges are as well.
Yeah, the hometown boy had some crowd behind him as well, you can hear.
As he should. Skiing out of Calgary. His experience on this track will definitely pay off.
All right, up next we have Emerson Smith, 18-year-old from Team Vail.
So a number of Americans, and a lot of them seem to be out of Colorado. Obviously a breeding ground for mogul skiers out of Vail, out of Steamboat. A lot of Colorado represented here.
Yeah, it's a great ski state. Sorry, I almost said province. Dropping in very hard and fast. Back full.
Back full is a common trick we see. Obviously, we mentioned a full backflip, but a full 360, and very traditional. Not, as we were saying, not one of the off-axis tricks, but judges definitely like to see that, and it's used very widely in competition.
And then the more of a new school version of the back full in a D-spin 720, so very similar to the off-axis, but his feet and head go all the way inverted.
That's excellent to see. You know what? He's obviously got the full package, bringing some of the new school, but the traditional moves as well. You know what? Great to see the kind of full package from Emerson Smith.
Yeah, and very committed to that back full. Took it really went up with it.
Using those pine boughs, as we mentioned, in the landing, and the softened up, the broken up landing there to really cushion that landing and make sure it's safe, and use that to his full advantage now that the sun's kind of gone behind here and we're in the shade.
Yeah, this full course is in the shade now, so it's going to be firming up. These guys are going to be going a little quicker and a little harder.
We got Trevor Riley in the start out of Park City, Utah, racing for the USA.
Back double full, so that's 2 full rotations in his backflip. That's probably one of the more difficult tricks we will see today.
That's one of the tougher tricks that we see on the World Cup even. So obviously, definitely no stranger to that top level of trick.
Wow, and a D-spin 1080 on the bottom. That was a spectacular run.
Trevor Riley is definitely going to be pleased with that, and we know the judges are going to be happy with what they saw. Quick time, he's got the full package there. I think Trevor's going to be pleased with his finals run here, and I wouldn't doubt that we see him in the top 6.
Yeah, with the degree of difficulty of those 2 airs, that pushes him way up there. Great skiing, great airs. That was just a fun one to watch.
And great turns, obviously. That's we know
turns.
One of the most important things. Back to the start, Gabriel Dufresne on the Canadian development team. Another Canadian one of the Canadians in the contingent here today. We want to see obviously great results for the Canadians, but you know what? I think he's going to use that experience racing and training in Canada to hopefully pull out a great result here today.
Yeah, very confident in his first top section. Back full, very tall, very straight.
Laid out is exactly what we want to see. Nice and consistent. And you can see those knee patches moving completely parallel and consistent. No gap.
And a very nice off-axis 720 with a large cross, and he is very excited about his run.
Gabriel Dufresne from the Canadian development team, obviously wanting to work his way onto the World Cup and the A-team, because no doubt about it, he's got Olympic dreams in mind.
Yeah, and just, it's like his legs were glued together on that full. He was very tight.
It's exactly what we want to see. We want to see those legs nice and tight. As soon as you're seeing a little bit of space in between there, the judges are going to pick up on that and be deducting points. Back to the start, James Matheson, Sydney, Australia.
So he's coming back from a crash in the World Cup last week. He crashed pretty hard, so we'll see what he comes back with this week.
Obviously crashing a part of any game, especially the skiing sports. But, I mean, as we saw in qualifications, an enormous amount of crashes, and it's got to beat your body up a little bit. So, obviously, he's not factoring that in, but the body may have taken its toll there last week.
Yeah, these guys don't take a rest until summertime. Oh, what a big back fall.
So size of the jump there obviously will be factored in too, but if you go too big, obviously it can sometimes put you into danger. I mean, we saw that one athlete this morning going for one of those laid out backflips like we just saw just there, but going so big with so much speed that he actually had to bring it around into a double backflip.
Yeah, it's amazing to see the air sense of some of these athletes, to know that the peak of their air, that they had too much time, and he had the wherewithal to tuck it over to get to his feet. Two flips in a mogul jump. And
you know what? The speed is one of the things we saw there. That was one of the fastest times that we've seen, not just out of these last few, but out of all the competitors today. That was one of the fastest runs we've seen. So
very strong run. You can see that he's a World Cup competitor.
Definitely going to get factored in too, but didn't sacrifice anything with the airs or the turns.
Next up,
we have Abe Studler coming out of the gate, out of the USA. Huge first jump.
Full. All right, just skiing strong through this middle section. Most of the course is in the middle section. You can see it's a very short start and a very short finish. Big back lay.
Great to see. We're going to see a great score to him. I think that was a clean run, top to bottom.
They are so in the zone when they get through that run. The adrenaline is pumping.
We're getting even faster, 23.68 for the speed for him. So I don't know if it's the track that's speeding up or we're just getting, as we chip away to those top competitors from the morning, we're seeing faster and faster times.
Yeah, as we get deeper into this course, we have our highest ranked athletes coming, and they are going to be pushing the limits, going as fast as they can.
Great to see. Back to the start. Sterling Cresamano, also out of the USA. This athlete from the other side of the country racing for Park City, Utah.
At 23 years old, coming in, very nice turns in that top section. Does one of those loops, the new school trick with the truck driver grab.
I like the truck driver grab and loop. Obviously, when they're kind of off axis, you're seeing that it's almost looking up from the bottom of the hill, a horizontal rotation as opposed to a straight backflip.
Getting bucked around a little bit coming into that air and takes it deep.
Solid run. I think a couple of mistakes there we're seeing, but Sterling Cresamano, I think, going to be solid off that run. But is it going to be enough to put him in the top 6? We got the truck driver grab coming up here. Why is it called that?
Well, it looks like you're grabbing a big steering wheel and driving that truck.
That's exactly what it looks like. Definitely a crowd pleaser, but let's just hope it's a pleaser for the judge. And,
he knew he was going to be on TV today. Look at that haircut.
Got a fancy new haircut for his race series this week, and you know what? That might just give him the edge. You never know. Back to the start. Bruce Perry, also out of the U.S., getting a fist pump from his coach. Obviously, coaching in the start, very, very important, not just to keep you calm and cool, but for some of the athletes to pump them up, just they need. Bruce Perry on course.
Comes out very strong as well. Back full, a little break in the knees, but back into it, really driving this middle section.
Solid turns in the middle section from Bruce.
Came in very quickly to that bottom air. Very nice cork 7 and finishes strong.
So cork 7 and D-spin 7 are a little bit different. I mean, that was obviously a cork 7 because his head didn't actually go below his body.
Yeah, so there are many different axes that you can spin on, and as soon as you go inverted, it's considered a D-spin.
That's obviously one of those fine intricacies that judges are going to be looking for. 24.21 on speed, so again, got some. We'll have a good result in the speed section of the.
Quick run down this shady course today.
Brandon Kelly of the Canadian ski team. Glad to see one of the Canadians in the top spots here. Brendan's out of Whistler, so obviously doing a lot of his training there, but will be no stranger to the Winsport Hill here.
Yeah, this 20-year-old really, really wants to make the next move up to the World Cup circuit. Really nice backfall.
Always have to cheer on the Canadians. I know he's got a contingent of fans here today cheering him on, and I can see why. Tremendous skiing.
Yeah, awesome D-spin 720 with a big cross. Came in a little bit squirrely to that bottom air, but regained composure and jumped quite well through it.
And a 24.90 for speed, so not quite the fastest we've seen out of some of the other athletes, but definitely still in the mix. Nice laid out back full there off that top jump. That's awesome to see, and that'll definitely help him out when we get the judges' scores.
Next up with the lucky knee patches, Robert Carroll. He is 25 from Park City.
Skis out of Wasatch. That's one of the funnier named clubs, but Wasatch, a club that's produced a lot of mogul athletes and freestylers.
Yeah, a couple in this top 16. We'll see how the Clovers can do down the course. Nice back full, strong right into his line.
Doesn't look like Robert Carroll needs the luck from those things. He's got the skills to back it up. Look at that speed and form. Tremendous skiing out of him.
It's like his knees are glued together, coming through that pitch change with ease.
Didn't get a lot of air, but you could see that cork 7 off the bottom was clean enough and landed well.
Yeah, he was able to control his speed coming into that bottom air. He may not have gotten the most air, but he still had a very, very strong trick.
And a 24.77 for speed, so definitely keeps him in the mix. Let's see if the judges are going to like those two jumps there, waving, saying hello to all his fans back home. Casey Adringa, also out of the USA, in the start. He was actually the 2016 Vail Pro Mogul champion. So you know what? He's already had success this season.
Yeah,
this year.
Having confidence coming into a course like this is huge. You can see that that's going to push him close to the top of the leaderboard.
So Casey Adringa, one of the top skiers from the morning run, but
nice back fall.
We want to see if that top 6 result from the qualifications will put him into the super finals here with another solid run. And if he keeps this up, I don't think he'll have any problems. Look
Coming
at the speed.
quickly through that pitch change. Very large, very defined cross. Big air on that bottom section.
Casey Adringa with a solid run. I think we're going to see some smiles out of him because 23.22.
Quick run. Very tall back fall. Very, very nice.
The speed was noticeable. You could visibly see him faster than a lot of his other competitors. But you know what? Didn't sacrifice anything because he had the skills. He had the jumps. I think he's got the full package.
Yeah, that was
a
great run. Ryan Durer, 24 years old from the U.S. ski team. He was 2015 Grand Prix champ. So I think we should definitely see some great things out of this run.
So one of the obviously U.S. ski team athletes that have come up here to capitalize on this circuit, but he's working his way up through the U.S. ski team as well, looking for that those World Cup berths and eventually those top of the podium results that he wants to see.
You can see him accelerate through that pitch change, regains composure. Oh! Definitely tried to spin a little bit too hard off that bottom air. Wasn't able to make it all the way to his feet.
I mean, he had the speed in the bumps, but just didn't get the air time he needed to bring it around for that huge spin, and obviously went down pretty hard, but glad to see he's bounced back and will be okay, because you know what, those are he's a long way up, and that's a hard crash. We'll take another look.
Oh yeah, you can see he's a little wobbly coming in, but still commits to his trick. Unfortunately, he just doesn't quite get the axis that he needs to make it all the way around.
And yeah, he needed a lot more height to bring that last rotation in there to land that successfully.
Yeah, you can see that's why we're so thankful for these volunteers. They're out there chopping that landing, making it soft for these guys to land like that safely.
So tough crash for Ryan Dyer, and that will likely be the end of his day. But you know what? We saw some amazing skiing from him in the middle section. I don't think that's the last of him that we're going to see on the circuit this year. Glad to see he's all right after a tough crash there.
And he's okay, giving the hang loose.
Back to the start. We got our top 3 men from the morning. We have Hunter Bailey in the start. You know, these are our top 3 qualifiers from the qualification event, and our 3 best ranked skiers we've seen today.
Yeah, we have another Vail team member skiing really, really well. Back full to start.
Again, lots of speed coming through this middle section. Hunter is known for his speed for sure, but I think obviously has the full package with his results here this morning.
Really nicely controlled. Came in quickly to that bottom air, was able to control his speed, take it to where he needed to, and ski out very cleanly.
Great to see from Hunter Bailey. And again, a quick time too. We're seeing these top athletes not just having the style, but the speed as well.
Yeah, the difference between first and second is sometimes 1/10 of a second. It can be that close and that fast.
Back, we mentioned the yellow bib earlier. He's obviously our leader in the NORAM Cup standings. He's rocking the yellow bib in the start gate there. This is Joel Hendrick out of Winter Park, Colorado, racing for the U.S.
Another 18-year-old.
It's amazing to see how the age differential here. I mean, we've seen some as young as 15 up to 25, but you know what? At this level of the game, age doesn't matter. They're racing with everyone in the world.
Yeah, there is no age category here. It's all based on skill.
Joel Hendrick on course.
Very great knees coming out. Oh, A little bit of a pike in his back full, but it's very strong.
So piking, breaking of the waist, definitely something he wants to avoid. He wants to be laid out, but
his knees are looking great right now.
Yeah, I think he'll make that up in the scores with the turns because those were excellent middle section.
Large back or cork 7 cross as well.
Great to see. I think that should be a good result for our NorAm Cup leader, Joel Hendrick.
Yeah, when you wear that yellow jersey, you need to stand behind it.
23.69 is his time too, so obviously had the speed to go along with that. Great to see. One athlete left. We have Troy Tully in the start, obviously getting ready. He's going to be watching his countrymen in the finish there, and he'll know that everyone's had some successful runs. Troy Tully obviously visualizing his run. He's also at a Wasatch, but originally from Deer Valley.
Yeah, he qualified with a 78.11. Very strong score to make it into these top 16. Very focused, ready for his run.
Troy Tully pushing out on course.
Very strong back full. A little bit of a pike in there.
But clean nonetheless. And look
Fast.
at that speed.
Wow, look at him go, taking that pitch change very, very quickly. And controlled that bottom air very well.
There is a reason that he qualified first. With skiing like that, I have no doubts we're going to see more from him today. Tremendous speed, but amazing control through the air and solid through the bumps. That was the fastest speed out of the day, 22.27. Wow.
By far, pushing it to the limit.
So he'll obviously have the highest score out of the speed section, obviously having the fastest speed there. But you know what? No problems over the jumps. You mentioned a slight pike there, but that's just a small deduction perhaps, and I think should have a successful score. I think the judges have to be happy.
Yeah, I think he needs to be happy. It's a great run. We can see it right here. His knees are locked together. No matter how fast he got going, he was always right back into position. So you could see very tall, and then slight break at the end just to get prepared for those moguls.
But you have to be prepared for how steep it is there, obviously. I mean, to be able to come out of a trick like that and jump back into to that amount of speed and that amount of steepness right on that hill.
Yeah, no, when you land, it's hard on your body. You have a mogul coming very, very quickly, and you need to be ready to absorb. So that's why they'll do those breaks in their lays and their fulls, so that they're a little quicker prepared.
We're obviously going to do a little bit of coursework here. We have completed the 16 men and the 16 women in the finals here today, but as we know, they take the top 6 scores from each of those 2, send them back up to the start for the super final. And again, once you're in the super final, that's all that matters. All these scores are just to get you to that point.
Yeah, we're going to see the best 12 skiers of this competition soon. There's a beautiful shot of downtown Calgary. You can see that it's pretty brown out here, but we have a lot of great snow at Winsport.
I think all of this warm weather has definitely done an awful lot of work on the hill here today, but now we have the results. Casey Adringa with a 83.49. That's awesome to see, and I think we knew that was coming. Joel Hedrick, 83.4. Followed closely, Hunter Bailey, James Matheson, Troy Tully, who was our leader, so still in the mix, and Gabriel Dufresne.
Awesome.
Glad to see some Canadians in there. I think we're going to see an amazing super final here as we move on to the top 6 men and women into the finals here.
Yeah, we're going to see these guys now push it all the way. They're going to be doing their hardest tricks and going as fast as they can because it's one run to win it all now.
I'm glad you mentioned the snow. You know what? As warm as it's been in Calgary and how dry it is, not a lot of snow this winter, not compared to the East Coast that we've seen a lot of these athletes training at. But you know what? Canada Olympic Park has such amazing support. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the super finals here at Winsport's Canada Olympic Park.
YCOM Solutions, a proud supporter of the Chasing Limits series and Alberta amateur sports. Visit ycom.ca for details on their full list of communication products and services.
I'm not special. Cancer happens to people all the time. I take 1 mile at a time, 26 miles a day. I want to set an example that'll never be forgotten. Sometimes it feels endless. But the pain I feel is nothing. I've seen little kids in so much pain. Somewhere, the hurting must stop.
Terry Fox ran more than halfway across Canada to raise money for cancer research. Every year, millions of people around the world continue the marathon of hope in his name.
Canadream has a wide selection of RVs that are available for purchase. New and used Class B and B Plus van conversions, Class C motorhomes, and truck campers that are ready to accommodate many lifestyles. Visit our website for more information at canadream.com/sales.
Welcome back to Chasing Limits on Shaw TV. We're here at Winsport's Canada Olympic Park for the super finals of the NORAM Single Moguls. The NORAM circuit is obviously so important for these athletes working their way up onto the World Cup, to that top level. But I mean, are they getting the experience here that's going to take them? I mean, we know this is a World Cup track already.
Oh, for sure. This level of competition brings people from all over the world, just as much as a World Cup will. So these guys are feeling the same pressure at a NORAM as they would at a World Cup.
So we know the NORAM circuit, obviously pretty internationally renowned. We've seen Australians, we've seen Norwegians, obviously the Canadians and Americans, all taking advantage of the facility we have here right in Calgary. But a high level of competition. These are some of the best mogul skiers in North America.
Yeah, and they're pushing themselves on difficult courses. That's the beautiful part of being able to have a NORAM on a World Cup course, is they get to use their skills to see where they'll line up in the next level.
And as we mentioned, it is one of the most difficult courses. Let's take another check-in with some of the experts and some of that inside news. Over to Phoenix.
He's a legend. Yes, he is, Murray Clough. And you've got video to prove it, too. When you competed, kind sir, now you're a coach for Winsport, but when you competed, you didn't wear helmets.
No, we just wore headbands, as a matter of fact.
That's right.
But
the protective headband.
It's made it a lot safer. And as you know now, with concussions being in such the forefront, it's become the norm. And the mogul skiers of today, they ski faster, they jump higher than we did. So it's a good thing.
It's insane what they do. How do you motivate them? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to,
a lot of,
oh man,
a lot of the motivation actually comes from them back to us.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually inspiring, like I said, to see how good they are at the age they are. You'll see 14 and 15-year-old skiers, you know, doing backflips and
wow.
you know, backflip with full twists. And then today, some of the best skiers are just, you know, in late teens. You know, and in my day, you know, the top skiers of the world were in their mid-20s. So it's really, really progressed. And that's, I mean, over the last 20 years, we've seen a big evolution in the coaching programs, the use of video, you know, all kinds of sports science, making it better for the kids.
Right.
Yeah.
You're part of Winsport right now. What made you decide in February that this is what you want to be a part of?
Well, it was a good opportunity. It's a good fit for, you know, last 8 to 10 years I've been traveling internationally, and this is only 22 minutes from my home in Cochrane, so it's like a day job now. I don't have to really travel too much, and it's a wonderful facility. As it's almost what I wish I would have had 20, 25 years ago when I started coaching. I mean, we have it all here. We've got a trampoline, we've got a mogul course, I've got an absorption course, and I have a great support staff. You know, and then you've got a great metropolis which to draw, you know, kids to your programs.
Sure.
So it really is a wonderful place.
Yeah, the level of coaching and the level of athletes starts with someone like Murray. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
Back to you guys.
Thank you. Okay.
Thanks, Murray. Appreciate your time.
Excellent to get some of that inside information. Thanks again, Phoenix. Took a look at that podium over there. That's eagerly anticipating our top 3 competitors. That's the name of the game. That's where you want to be standing at the end of the day.
Yeah, we're going to go from 6 to 3, and we're going to see who takes that top spot.
We have the 6 remaining ladies for the super final. Sophie Ash, Lane Stoltzner, Avital Shimko, Julie Bergeron, Tess Johnson, and Sophia Schwartz. That's awesome to see a good international contingent there, but great that we still have some involvement from the Canadians.
Yeah, it's awesome to see Canadians doing it on home soil. They have the crowd behind them, and hopefully they can finish strong.
We got an incredible crowd here watching and cheering on all of their athletes. I know on a beautiful sunny day like this, it's no better way to spend your afternoon than watching top-level winter sports action.
Yeah, and lots of runs. These guys just finished their top 16 and have already taken the chairlift to head back to the top to compete in the super final.
And now's where it gets intense. Obviously, they're going to take the appropriate steps, get ready, make sure their equipment's in tip-top shape. Obviously, equipment's going to be so important, but your legs are going to be taking their toll, and your mind as well.
Yeah, you start to get tired powering through 220 meters as fast as you can. These legs are going to be burning at the end of the day.
Well, with this track being so steep, I mean, as we mentioned before, these are the landing area. This is the landing area from the 1988 Winter Olympics ski jumps. So this is so steep. This is almost a pit that's been built here at COP for that purpose for the Olympic Games, but it's turned it into a tremendous venue for Moguls.
Yeah, it was an amazing repurposing of a slope. It's unfortunate that they aren't using the large jumps anymore for the ski jumping, but us at Freestyle, we can appreciate that we now have an amazing, amazing hill for us to train on and compete on.
And I think that just speaks to the evolution of sport, obviously the evolution of ski jumping. The athletes got so good and they started getting better and better that the largest jump we have in Calgary is actually the jump's still good, but the landing's just not long enough because those jumpers are flying so far. And now that the Moguls races are skiing down much steeper slopes, it's an ideal spot for them.
Yeah, that's exactly it. They were flying. They were outlasting the landing hills. And you see that with the evolution of mogul skiing as well, as we talked. We went from the twister spread to the back double full in the moguls as one of the tricks we see at every competition. The landings have gotten bigger, the jumps have gotten steeper, but the athletes have been much stronger.
I think the only thing that's maybe stayed the same is the moguls, actually, because they've been pretty consistent from the beginning. But you know what? Construction of the moguls have been better and better, and we're on course for our super final.
All right, it's great to see these ladies making it into the top 6. Very strong 360.
And this is all for all the marbles. This is everything that counts. We want to see them putting everything on the line as they drop onto the steeper section for the final run in the super finals here in the singles NORAM Mogul Championship.
Nice back tuck. Very strong through that pitch change area and finishes strong. That's something to be proud of in this top 6.
We're going to see if that's going to be enough for our judges, but I think she should definitely be happy with a clean run there and being able to take that work all day and leading up to this event to have a number of clean runs and a successful super final run for this Australian.
Yeah, it's always nice to see Australia pushing. They've always been a great rival for Canada with Dale Begsmith and Alexander Bilodeau in the Olympic series. Now we have Sophia Ash at the top of the course. Oh, my mistake. The last skier was Sophia Ash.
Sophie Ash, as we said, out of Australia, but you know what? They're doing so much training and competing in North America that they've almost seemed like part of the program here at the NORAM events.
Yeah, you see them all over Canada training side by side with our national team. Now we have Lane Stoltzner.
Excellent to see this U.S. ski team member, 25 years old, so one of the older athletes, and obviously chasing, as we've seen, as young as 15 here. So Lane on course.
She came out of that line aggressively. She wants this. Big 360.
360 seemed to be the common move we've seen off the first jump for a lot of the ladies, but will that be enough in the super vinyl is yet to be seen.
Very strong skiing coming through that pitch change. Controls her speed. Very tall back lay.
So the difficulty might not be there or the style, but you know what? I think the clean, perfect form that we saw out of lane, judges are definitely going to be happy, and I think that's a lot of what they're looking for.
And the nice little high five to one of the fans at the end of her run.
I think she's even got the peace sign hanging up there in the middle of those as she's holding her poles off that first jump. Maybe she, while she's in the air, she's just having a great time.
All right, we're heading back to the top for our next competitor. Standing with her coach, getting ready, getting amped up. We've got Avital Shimko.
Avital Shimko, obviously a strong run from the morning. We know this American is no stranger here and did well in qualifications and did well in the finals, but let's see if that's enough.
Oh,
Fist pump.
she is amped up and ready to go.
That's what we need to see. We want to see that amp. We want to see that that fired up attitude, because you know what? This is for the whole day. This is how you're going to find yourself on the top of the podium.
Really, really navigating that pitch change well. Aggressively skiing through. She did her 360 up top, kept it safe. We'll see what she brings to the bottom air. Back tuck.
But nice and clean and a bunch of great turns and happy through the finish line. I think she's going to be proud of that run, and will obviously tend to her fans there who seem to be chasing her. That's great to see. Obviously, those young skiers striving to one day be competing on this slope. I think that's what it's all about.
You could see that she bailed out a little bit of her speed before that first jump so that she can be in control coming out of it.
Excellent to see. Canadian ski team, Julie Bergeron in the start, number 7. I think she's going to want to be our Canadian favorite. Want to put the Canadian on the podium today. That'd be awesome to see.
Yeah, the Quebecois are no stranger to the podium, so let's see how she can do.
And fellow Canadian ski team members, we're seeing are dominating the World Cup right now. So she's probably doing some training and competing with the sisters. Obviously working her way up to be joining them hopefully here within a year or two.
Great absorption. Back tuck up top. Didn't take the traditional 360 like a few of the competitors. Skiing very nicely through this second section.
Strong, excellent turns, consistent, controlled, and it doesn't seem to have any issues with that breakover.
And there's the front flip. 2 inverts in her run. Very nice.
Don't see a lot of these women doing that. I think that's the first double inverted run we've seen today. And you know what? That just might pay off because she's got a smile on her face. I'm
That's
sure the judges will be
great
impressed.
smile. She's happy to be down there, happy to with her run.
And some speed too. Great to see from Bergeron. I think this is the tricky part while you're sitting there waiting for the judges' scores. But Tess Johnson in the start for her last run.
She qualified first for the top 16. So we are here. We're going to see how she does.
I don't think she was on the top of the leaderboard in the finals, but she just might pull it off with a clean run here and a solid 360 out of the start.
Look at those knees, like they're glued together.
That's what the judges are looking for. That's what those knee pads are for. We want to see those tight knees, that absorption and extension. And as we said, 60% of her score is going to be off of those turns. Nice laid out backflip.
Big back laid. That's a judge and a crowd pleaser right there.
Tess Johnson's got to be happy with that. I think a
little
quick
smile
time as well. You know what? That's great to see from that American.
Strong competitor. You could see that she was still focused even when she got to the bottom of the run.
Obviously eagerly anticipating teammate in the start. Obviously coaches have the pressure of having 2 athletes here that are both competing against each other, but they're going to learn from each other. They're going to be able to feed information back and forth, but Sophia Schwartz up for her final round.
And she qualified second, so we have the 1 and 2 from the top 16 going back to back.
That's great to see. Obviously, a lot of pressure. You can't imagine what's going through her head, but you know what? These are professionals. They know what they're doing, and they're giving her everything they can for this final round.
Nice, strong top section. Back full up top, pushing.
Got a little bit on her heels there, but got right back into the turns, so maybe a small deduction, but we'll hopefully make up for that with some great skiing in the middle section here.
And the degree of difficulty of doing a back full. She's the only lady we've seen do the back full. And a back lay at the bottom, so another 2 invert run.
Sophia Schwartz across the line. That'll be tough competition, and you know what? I don't envy the judges. They're going to be the ones that are going to have to take all that information and calculate everything. I mean, I'm glad I'm not in their spot, having to take 2 such awesome runs and pick a winner.
Yeah, they have to weigh their options. How were the turns? How were the airs? How was the speed?
So many different factors here, but obviously some great runs out of Sophia Schwartz, Tess Johnson, but our Canadian Bergeron there with a tremendous run herself. So we'll eagerly anticipate seeing the final scores there.
Yeah, that was a great super final for the females.
It's excellent to see. You can see the crowds getting ready. The men are coming up next. We want to obviously stick around and cheer on the men, because they're going to be we're going to see the top 6 show us what they have.
Yeah, pushing it to the limit, going as fast as they can and as big as they can. You can see the amount of crew that comes with a coach. They have people videotaping. They have people on radios.
The medical staff.
The medical staff.
The physiotherapists, I know, are a huge part of it. But let's talk about equipment. I mean, I know that a lot of them have an enormous amount of ski preparation involved. Skis are purpose-built for this event. They are specific to Moguls. What makes them different than your traditional alpine ski?
So most skis today now have a wide base, so you can go edge to edge, but remain stable. These Mogul skis, they have a very narrow base, so allow you to have your feet very, very close together.
And we have our final scores. Sophia Schwartz of the USA, our leader, followed closely by the Canadian, Julie Bergeron. Excellent to see, but look at how close that is. 80.47 down to 79.07, all within 2 points. Tess Johnson rounding out the top 3. But the American on top, but Canadian favorite, Julie Bergeron, in second place. Excellent to see from the top 6, and we'll be looking forward to seeing those smiling faces on the top of the podium at the awards.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, is pushing yourself and making it to that podium. And congrats to all 3 of them.
Yeah, I think an amazing day of competition from the ladies. Really, obviously chasing their limits throughout this entire week, building up with training, but to have it all come to a finale here in the finals, the super finals that being.
Yeah, they do 3 runs today in competition, but countless runs getting ready for this competition.
Let's check in again with Phoenix for some more inside information.
Arizona. Here we go. Sophia Schwartz, congratulations. Here you are at the finish. Boy, that top section was a little tough.
Yeah, thank you so much, Phoenix. It's icy up there. You definitely have to be on your edges, but I think everyone's skiing it really well up there, so just try to do my best.
I noticed that Team USA is getting together and having little chats before each of their runs. You help each other.
Absolutely. I mean, we watch video and talk, and if you're struggling with something, it's really nice to be able to ask your teammate how they're handling it. Yeah. That's why you're a team.
You're here at Winsport. Tell me about the course.
This course is awesome. Calgary is one of the coolest venues because it's unique in that it has this really big, steep roll coming over the middle. It's not something you see often, but it makes you have to be on your game the whole way down.
That first jump, the first one that you took off from, boy, that just really sets the tone for the start of this course.
Definitely, and I'm doing a back full up there, which is a back flip with a full twist, and it's fun. It's the hardest part of my run, so usually if I can stop that, it'll go well.
So you take this and you move on to the next competition?
Yeah, next week we'll be in Park City, Utah. Then we venture to Val St. Colm and Killington. So it's an awesome tour, the Norm Tour.
Sophia Schwartz, Team USA takes home #1. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thanks to all the course workers and everyone who makes this event possible.
There you go. Back to you guys. Thanks a lot.
great opportunity to hear from our champion today. I think that women's finals definitely got the men amped up and ready for the men's super final, which we're going to see next.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see these guys really drive everything they've got. They have one run left to make it to the podium, just like Sophia Schwartz just did.
And I mean, she obviously brought out some big tricks that we knew she was comfortable with. But do you think we're going to see anything we haven't seen before, or are the men going to stick with what they know is tried and true?
Well, we saw a few of the athletes really pushing with the double fulls and the 1080. So I feel like a few of them will have to try and catch up to that.
We have the start list here. Our top 6 men from the finals going into the super final: Gabriel Dufresne, Troy Tully, James Matheson, Hunter Bailey, Joel Hendrick, and Casey Adringa.
Yeah, some great skiing from all of those competitors.
I think we obviously going into a super final. They've been skiing all day. This is a long day for them. They're definitely going to be feeling the pressure of all of the runs they've had, but thankfully all in one piece. But are their bodies going to be strong enough for what they want?
Oh, these guys are highly toned athletes. They have worked all day, all week, all year for these moments. We have our National Development Team member, Gabriel, at the top, dropping in.
Gabriel Dufresne on course. So Gabriel obviously worked his way up a few spots from the qualifying round to make the super final. I think we knew that was going to be a solid run, but glad to see him here in the super final.
Yeah, it's always good to see a Canadian getting amped up. A couple of turns that didn't quite go his way on that section, but you can see he knows it as well.
He definitely got enormous flight off that bottom jump. You want to go big to be able to finish the trick, but you have to almost absorb that bottom jump to not fly too far where you're missing out on those last few turns.
Yeah, there's a fine line between going big and missing the chop and going too fast. These guys need to find the exact sweet spot on where they want to land and how they want to ski it out.
Excellent skiing from Dufresne. That was awesome to see from the Canadian. We want to see him on top of the podium, but we got 5 more skiers to go.
So another American national team member.
Troy Tully, as we saw from the qualification event, we know he's a competitor.
He qualified first for the top 16. So he's in 5th right now, but those scores don't matter, so it's up to him now to set his tone.
Even though he only finished 5th in that final, it doesn't matter. Those scores are out. He's in the top 6. It's an even playing field right now, and he's going to be going big here.
Yeah, pushing that back full to the edge of the chop. Skiing very quickly, laterally, side to side, hitting those bumps.
We saw Troy with one of our fastest times in the final round, rather. And the speed, no stranger to that, with another huge air off the bottom jump.
Deep cork 7, you can hear the landing where he clears the chop, and there's a large slap.
23.15, again, another fast time from Tully.
Showing off his sponsors.
I think he's going to be happy with those results today, but we don't know until the judges produce their scores if that's enough to put him on the top of the podium today.
Yeah, we're on the edge of our seats as much as the athletes, it feels like. We want to know.
I think everyone watching at home obviously is excited, but that's one of the things that makes a judge sport so exciting is the unknown. James Matheson up at the start.
Team Australia getting ready. Another contingent, just like in the females category. We had men and women both from Australia pushing our Canadians. Huge back full off that top air.
That crash last week does not look like it was holding him back at all, with just tremendous speed, but also, as you said, huge air, really getting every inch out of those jumps.
Oh, absorbed that jump a little bit. He was coming very quickly, but again, that air sense of these athletes, he knew where he was, and he knew he could get safely to his feet.
With that tremendous amount of speed coming across that those last few turns into that jump, he was lucky to keep that as clean as he did. But you know what? It just shows the athleticism and how talented these competitors are.
Yeah, that can be a very scary moment for someone who doesn't know where they are in the air.
And with the flips, I mean, as you can spot your landing once you're about halfway around, you're staring the wrong way. Back to the start for Hunter Bailey.
He qualified third for our round of 16. This 19-year-old from the Vale team getting prepped and ready.
So again, Americans, Australians are skiing well, but you know what? The Canadians are definitely in the mix, and it'll be exciting to see the results.
Back full on the top air, skiing very well. Again, looks like his knees are glued together. That's what the judges are looking for. They don't want to be able to see that snow in between their legs. Coming in quickly to the bottom air. D-spin 720, so he goes inverted with his 720.
That's great to see. You can see that head obviously going below his feet is upping that degree of difficulty, but that's what we need to do. These guys are pulling out all the stops to get on the top of that judging scorecard.
Waiting for his score at the bottom. We have the yellow jersey at the top.
Joel Hedrick. Obviously qualified second. This is our second last athlete of the day. He's going to be wanting to earn those valuable NORAM Cup points to kind of keep building on his circuit this year. But, you know, he's leading already, but not on top after the finals. Let's see if he has what it takes to put himself on the top of the podium with the super final run here.
Yeah, he's going to have to ski his best if he wants to keep that yellow bib for the next competition. Back full off the top air. Really pushing himself through this middle section towards the pitch change.
Tremendous speed, awesome to see. Trying to keep that upper body and head as quiet as possible.
Navigates that pitch change really well, controlled into that bottom air. Very nice finish to his run.
That was amazing to see, solid run. I mean, the speed we were seeing in there, I mean, kilometers per hour. How fast do you think they're going down here?
Oh, I don't think I could even put it into words.
I mean, you would see a typical mogul skier going 10 or 20 kilometers an hour recreationally, but I mean, I bet you they're pushing speeds of 50, 60 kilometers an hour. It's amazing to see down a run this steep.
All right, we have our top qualifier, Casey Andringa.
Casey Andringa obviously qualified first in the finals, but this is our top-ranked athlete that's going to be looking to take it home today. Our last athlete pushing out at the top of the mountain for today.
The 2016 Vale Cup champion, so he wants to continue with that. Very nice back full up top.
Again, difficult job for the judges here because all of these athletes are so close. They're so competitive, so fast, but so precise as well.
Navigated that pitch change great. Very fast into that bottom air, controlled himself, and finished very strong.
Andringa across the line, our last athlete of the day. That was just an unbelievable level of competition, and we're going to be eagerly anticipating the scores from the judges as soon as they release those. Obviously, that's the most difficult part for this competition. Sure, they have their times. Those are easy. Those are not debatable. But watching all the precision in the turns and the technique throughout the air is going to be a difficult task of calculating our leader here.
And we're lucky enough down here to get the slow-mo versions of all these shots, as well as we get a screen to show us everything that's going on there. The judges are watching it in real time with their eyes.
They're seeing it live. You know what? Those scores are going to be hopefully as close as we saw in the women. We have a Canadian in the mix there. We'll obviously be eagerly seeing if they made it onto the top of the podium for Dufresne.
Beautiful shot of the mountains. You can see we're lucky to be so close to so many great ski hills and to have this amazing hill right in our home.
I think obviously Winsport COP here, one of the local hills right in the city of Calgary, but I'm glad you mentioned that. I mean, tremendous amount of support from the skiing community with the ski areas. We have Lake Louise, Mount Norquay, Sunshine Village, Nikiska, and we've seen freestyle athletes competitive and strong and training at all of those resorts throughout the years.
Yeah, Alberta has always had strong freestyle skiers. We cover every city in the province, every major city in the province, from Grand Prairie all the way to Pincher Creek. We have club teams with hundreds of athletes feeding into the provincial program and into this national program.
And as far as getting involved in the sport, there's a number of young clubs that offer programs for the freestyle, get them introduced in Moguls, get them introduced into the freestyle world, and they can work their way up. We have our scores. Joel Hedrick at the top of our leaderboard. Excellent to see with an 85.38.
Very strong run from Andringa with his 83.46, and Troy Tolley with an 80.86.
That rounds out our top three. Obviously, Joel Hedrick, we saw such a tremendous run for him. And putting himself on the top of the leaderboard is no surprise there. Our Canadian Gabriel Dufresne, awesome to see him in the top 6, but wasn't quite enough to make it onto the box today. But you know what? There's another day of racing tomorrow and a long season ahead, and I think we're going to see especially the locals and the Canadians working their way up the ladder and learning from this great experience today.
Oh, for sure. It's great to be able to train on this course, and these guys will continue to train on this course. It's not like this course will disappear. We will have Canadian teams, provincial teams, and athletes training on COP's World Cup level course for the rest of the season.
Tremendous results here. Let's have a chat with our winner today.
Team USA, yes, it's Joel Hedrick. You're not wearing the Team USA colors, buddy. What's going on here, man?
I know, I'm trying my hardest, that's for sure.
Yeah, Team USA, if you're looking, this guy's doing pretty good. Okay, the top section, take us through that first jump.
Oh, you know what? Top section's pretty damn hard. It's icy. I don't know if you get through. I was trying to juice it that last run, boost my full a bit, so I did a pretty good job of that, and then the rest was pretty easy.
Yeah, dude, you let loose on that run. I'm telling you, you had a great time as well, too. Your speed was something you're probably focusing on as well.
Yeah, I know going into super finals, I just want to get down to the bottom with a clean run, but I definitely let them go a little bit.
Yeah, I hear the course very dark. It was a little lighter as the preliminaries were happening. What kind of a challenge was that with a very dark course?
I really didn't even think about that, honestly.
There you go.
Yeah, I was just going. I mean, obviously you got to have the right goggle for the job, but I mean, Oakley's doing me some good right now.
There you go. Okay, yeah. Team USA, look at this guy, Joel Hedrick. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, back to you guys.
We're so fortunate to get that inside athlete perspective. Congratulations again to our winner today. Thanks again, Phoenix. It was a tremendous day of competition. I know it was a challenge for all these athletes having a long day with several runs, but you know what? That's what it takes to be on the top of the podium. And you know, we're very proud to be part of such an amazing event, and great to see such an amazing race and competition today.
Yeah, it was amazing to have all these nations here all ski so well and put on such a great show for the local crowd.
No, we're very thankful to be part of this, and thanks again to all of our supporters and volunteers for throwing a great race. For Kevin Kwasny, I'm Paul Stutz, and this concludes the 2016 NORAM Single Moguls and COP. Sports and a look into the athletes and personalities that continue to chase their limits.